The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm going to be talking with you on 10 things that typically happen during a modern console launch. I have been part of many console launches over the years, and there's something that definitely distinguishes a console launch. There is a lot of excitement, there's a lot of buzz, and there's typically things that go along with a console launch, good and bad, and I'm here to talk about things that you're going to expect or see during this console launch season with both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And so first and foremost, lots of hype. Both companies are promoting what their console can do, what it can play, all the bells and whistles, the processor, how fast things are, storage. There's always hype around these console launches. These companies want you to know, hey, new shiny object's out, go get it because it's better than what you have. And so with that being said, there's always critics to go along with the console launch for many, many different reasons. I think the criticism about these two releases is that we're not necessarily fully ready to embrace next gen. There's a lot of games that are being offered on current gen as well. That's kind of a criticism. PlayStation 5 really was promoting, you got to get the next gen console to play these games. They changed their position on that, and now they're offering some of the console launched games, not all of them, on the PlayStation 4. Miles Morales, you have Sackboy, and just to name some of them. Okay. The other thing that goes with console launches is a specific date and price with those consoles. The most iconic memory that I have of a console launch is Dreamcast, 9/9/99. So September 9th, 1999 was a vivid memory for me. I was working at a GameStop during a Dreamcast launch, and it was a fantastic experience. And so the upcoming launch dates for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S is, so for the Xbox Series X, it's November 10th, and for the PlayStation 5, it's November 12th. And so that's going to be a big date. There's going to be a lot of people excited, to go along with that hype about getting a new console. Next one's a big one, exclusive games. And so going back to the criticism of some of these new consoles is that some of the exclusive games aren't there. The big one for the Xbox Series X is that the Halo Infinite got delayed to next year. They're kind of taking a different approach with Game Pass. And so, exclusive games don't necessarily matter as much for the Xbox. For some people it will. But with their approach, they're kind of promoting the Xbox Game Pass along with their console. Definitely PlayStation is promoting more exclusive games, as well as the big one that you can't play anywhere else is Demon's Souls Remastered, and it looks pretty great. Even though it is a remaster, it's significantly better, it looks like, than the PlayStation 3 launch. Next up is backwards compatibility, and for any modern console launch, this is super important, okay? And so people invest a lot of money and time into a console. They want to know that those games aren't going to go anywhere. I still don't think consoles have successfully done what PC users have done and utilized for years, and that's a stable market where you can purchase a game and not worry about it going anywhere. And so we still haven't seen the marketplace on the next gen consoles for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. At least I haven't seen them. And so that's important to know that your games are backwards compatible. Both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X have announced that your PlayStation 4 games will work on your PlayStation 5, at least 99% of them so far with Sony. And Microsoft did announce that Xbox One games are fully backwards compatible, as well as additional previous generations. They've talked and have worked a lot with getting some original Xbox games to work, many 360 games, and as well as further things that they're going to be announcing, hopefully. And so the nod does go to Xbox Series X for that extra backwards compatibility. I look forward to seeing what else they are announcing in the future. All right, next up, pre-orders. And as you know, both consoles are sold out. Sony is announcing that they're going to have more available in time. And, that is kind of frustrating. For pre-orders is something of any console launch. GameStop's offered them for several years, going way back. I remember even the Dreamcast launch. They were hot and heavy about getting Dreamcast pre-orders, and so. But yes, they've been happening for over 20 years at consoles, for modern day consoles, and so that is a big deal, and that's a big deal for people who want to get in on the next gen thing. With supply, especially this year, pre-orders are super important, and so if you are to guarantee getting one, I definitely think you should pursue a pre-order if you haven't already. It looks like hopefully Sony will have some more available. I do not know the current situation with Microsoft since doing this video, but I'm sure they are selling out of their preliminary supply. There's going to be shortages, and with shortages comes the other thing. So yes, there's going to be shortages at launch. Typically, there's a lot of people buying these not only to play, but for holiday items, but also to resell. And that's kind of the dark side of these pre-orders. I don't think the industry's gotten it right. I don't understand why that is. I mean, sometimes though, when there's a shortage, Nintendo knows this very well. Sometimes when there's a shortage of something, it gets a lot of free publicity. So when there's a shortage, everybody talks about it, and that's something the company doesn't have to pay for. It's free advertisement. And so there's these shortages, but unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people who want to purchase this as gifts for other people or for themselves that aren't going to be able to get these consoles, and that is frustrating. That hasn't changed. It's happened a long time, going way back, but scalping is a huge issue, and there's a lot of people that do it. I don't support that. I think that, I know that there's people that make profit, but it's tough because those people are profiting off something and trying to be a middle person and causing a kind of a false supply issue. And so I've never been a big fan of those, and I don't support it. So try your best to get through a direct channel, and if not, wait. Next up, and this is the big one, typically with launch consoles, there comes bugs, glitches, and flaws. Every hardware I've seen from the last 20 years has issues when it comes out. And it may be subtle, it may not be a big deal, but eventually that hardware does get redesigned to be more efficient, or getting rid of a flaw that caused users problems. Sometimes it's with the disk drive that goes out. It could be a power supply issue. It could be something else. But typically launch consoles have problems over time. And so that's why you always see these companies come out with a redesign, because it gets to the point where they can make the console cheaper with less parts, or there's a significant flaw with the original design of a launch console and they want to fix it with a redesign. Usually both, and usually they go hand in hand. Fix a flaw, save money, and redesign a console. Last and definitely not least is lasting memories. I have vivid positive memories of several console launches. The ones that come to mind are, believe it or not, the Game Boy Advance. I lined up at Kmart of all places to get my original Game Boy Advance. There was only a few other people with me waiting in line, and it just walked in and I got it. But it was cool. It was cool on the day of a launch of a handheld or a console to get it. The Dreamcast launch is my #1 memory. It was great to see a lot of Sega fans excited about a new Sega console coming in and enjoying the celebration of getting a new console. And so PlayStation 2, another one, it came out in October in the United States in 2000, and that was a big deal, and it was a great experience. So what are your memories of console launches? These are things that I think typically happen with any modern day console launch, and this is going to be a big year for both Microsoft and Sony, both good and bad, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins this console war, as well as how well the console sales go. Initially, at least both of them are sold out, and so that's frustrating for those that still want to pursue it. Maybe for those that want to wait, no big deal. Comment below, what are your memories of a specific console launch? You may go way back, but the focus of this video was modern day consoles going back to the Dreamcast launch. As always, thank you for the ongoing support. I'm constantly uploading videos every week, 2 videos at least a week. Hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell, as you will be notified of upcoming videos that I make. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Thank you for the support. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you take care.